Now, COVID-19 has brought about a large number of disruptions in the way people work, in the way people live, as well as in the way organizations operate today. As a result of these disruptions, many organizations have been forced to look at the two key priorities facing them, namely, how do they ensure the well being of their employees while still ensuring that businesses can operate with whatever resources and manpower they may have, as well as with whatever restrictions are in place. Now, one of the largest disruptions has been felt in the global supply chain. And as a result of COVID 19, many industries have come to a halt, and it's quite understandable. Many of the components have not reached the intended participants, many of the raw materials have not been received, and so on and so forth. But what is quite concerning is that the supply chain is not as transparent as one would have thought it to be. There have been situations where individuals are just not aware of where their product or component is today in the supply chain. Communication has broken down completely. Now, in view of these various disruptions, 3D printing has come into the limelight, and with the inherent advantages which 3D printing already has in terms of being able to manufacture almost any product with high quality and also being able to do this remotely makes it a perfect technology to support the supply chain. Now, we already have seen a number of industries using 3D printing for prototyping or low volume production. But today, you're going to start seeing a number of companies using these printers or increasing the adoption to supply, or rather to support the supply chain to whatever extent possible. In view of this, in view of the adoption increasing of 3D printing, we do believe from our findings that the revenue generated from this industry will be dropping at least for the first half of the year. And the reason for this is that all the printing which is being done today, or most of the printing which is being done today, is being done free of cost. What that means is that the key industry participants in the 3D industry space have been donating their printers, their resources, and their expertise in manufacturing key essential items for the healthcare industry. And these essential items include face masks, face shields, as well as key ventilator components. 3D printing companies, as well as their customers, automotive companies, aerospace companies, have been donating all the resources to ensure that individuals that are fighting this pandemic today are equipped with all the right essentials. Now, despite that grim outlook for the first half of the year, we do believe that the market size will pick up, the market size will return back to normalcy very soon. And the reason for that is once the pandemic is over, there are plenty of opportunities for the 3D printing community. Now, one of the largest opportunities which we've seen right now is that a number of CXOs, a number of strategists have already started thinking, and many have already started looking at implementing various plans in terms of how do they have a contingency plan should a similar situation take place again in the future. It doesn't necessarily have to be a pandemic, it can be any natural disaster, it can be any other situation, economic or political, which may bring us to a scenario which is very similar to what we are in today. How do companies address that? Now, one of the solutions or one of the business plans which are being thought about is that of remote manufacturing facilities. Now, these facilities have been there in small numbers, but now companies are thinking along the lines of having a near 100% fully automated manufacturing facility, which is equipped with industrial robots, delivery robots, and of course 3D printers, allowing for 100% truly automated manufacturing. And these centers can also operate along the lines of a ghost kitchen where multiple products from multiple companies can be manufactured. Now, In this sort of a business model, the ecosystem becomes more entangled, and yet the revenue expected from such an ecosystem is also expected to grow exponentially. There are a number of unknowns in such an ecosystem. Who will be partnering with who? What are the various technologies that will be in demand? How can such a confluence of technologies and companies, or possibly even conglomerates, take place? How fast will there be a revenue shift in moving towards a more entangled ecosystem? So these are the various unknowns which are still yet to be answered. What is also quite evident is that there will be a slow revenue shift in terms of where 3D printing companies can look at their next revenue stream. And that's very evident from the fact that although organizations across the globe have been keeping physical stockpiles of various components, this situation has shown that it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, what really matters is how do we get these physical assets to move from one location to another location. So this again brings in the need and urgency for a digital warehouse, enabling, powering individuals and companies to make multiple products, multiple different type of products, a variety of products. Now, at the end of the day, the 3D printing community is going to see quite high uptake in terms of adoption, in terms of uh, companies recognizing the benefits. Not just those companies which have already used 3D printers, but possibly as well those which have been a little shy from adopting these printers in the future. Everyone will want to now try and at least keep these printers as a contingency plan to ensure that they do not fall into a similar trap again in the future. In this respect, key findings or the key summaries which you see are there are plenty of opportunities, there are new business models which are going to emerge over here. There is going to be a change in terms of who's going to be working with whom, how this is going to take place, and how fast it is.